A very good day to all of you, and thank you for showing your interest and commitment by attending and sharing your time with us today. My name is Matthias Halwart. I'm the head of the FAO's Aquaculture Branch and secretary of the COFI subcommittee on aquaculture. And I would like to structure this short keynote into three sections, starting with a brief overview of the growing importance of aquaculture, followed by a short assessment how FAO members through COFI have reacted to this trend, and then finishing with the particularly important role that aquatic biosecurity plays in this bigger picture. So when we talk about fish production, we talk about capture and culture. We talk about hunting and farming with a progressive shift in importance. And our latest data show that aquaculture has reached another all-time record high with 114.5 million tons in live weight, worth over $260 billion. And in our flagship publication, SOFIA 2020, FAO states that aquaculture has been the strongest growing major food production sector with a growth rate of more than 5% over the past 2 decades. Now, such a big volume and growth is probably not surprising, since aquaculture production is based on a wide range of farmed species. It's dominated by finfish, but there are also mollusks, there are crustaceans and many other taxa, and also, let's not forget about aquatic plants. So altogether for 2018, FAO has recorded 622 species and species items, and a dedicated effort on aquatic genetic resources has revealed an additional 250 species items farmed in aquaculture. Now, if we look into the future, projections foresee an increased demand for aquatic products resulting predominantly from a population increase, but also from better off and more educated societies who wish to have a balanced and nutritious diet on their plates. While projection figures may be slightly different depending on the source and underlying assumptions, all experts agree that aquaculture will have to be filling the gap between supply and demand. And aquaculture seems all set to play this expected role, but it is also clear that farming carries risks and must be increasingly accompanied and supported by research and development efforts and associated funding. So how are FAO members and FAO as a secretariat reacting to this, if you like it, emerging situation? Well, COFI has reacted to aquaculture's growing global importance and raised its profile in a number of ways, and I will just highlight 4 of these. Number 1, COFI asked FAO to establish a subcommittee on aquaculture to bring together the world community to discuss and find common ways forward on the major global issues affecting aquaculture. And as a consequence, the COFI subcommittee on aquaculture was established back in 2001 and has held 10 sessions so far. Second, members of FAO requested to change the name of FAO's Fisheries Department into Fisheries and Aquaculture Department back in 2007. Third, COFI requested FAO to convene major global conferences on aquaculture with our key partner, NACA, in the millennium, in 2000, in 2010, and now for 2020. And fourth, members call for a global, integrated, sustainable aquaculture program. And it is the COFI subcommittee last year, when it met in Trondheim, that called upon FAO to come up with this global, integrated, sustainable aquaculture program. And many members are reiterating this call in the Ministerial Declaration on Sustainable Fisheries and Aquaculture, which will be presented tomorrow as a draft. COFI earlier provided guidance on the components of such a global program and asked FAO to take into consideration key thematic areas. And you will not be surprised to hear that biosecurity and health management has been identified as one of them. Now, this diagram is an advanced snapshot for you of information that will be presented to the next COFI session. And this is not the place here to go into detail about the proposed program, but one thing I want to highlight is that aquatic biosecurity touches every aspect of aquaculture development, or every other aspect of aquaculture development, and the other pillars in turn directly affect biosecurity, showing the integrated nature of the program. Now, given aquaculture's fast growth and the fact that the risk of pest and disease occurrence increases with intensity of production, it is appropriate that aquatic biosecurity featured on the agenda of the subcommittee, which at its last session welcomed the work by the FAO on the progressive management pathway, which we will hear about here, called for resource mobilization, and requested the formation of an FAO technical working group to develop the pathway and associated tools and mechanisms. Let me finish with one thought on this. The aquaculture sector is unique in that it has a substantial share of aquatic plant production with huge positive impacts on the environment and livelihoods around the globe, and risks for this subsector should be included in our coverage. So I would like to conclude with a recap of the three main messages of this short keynote. Number one, aquaculture is a fast-growing sector and is projected to fill the expected supply-demand gap for aquatic products in the future. Second, COFI has clearly recognized this trend, and members through the COFI subcommittee on aquaculture and through the draft declaration on sustainable fisheries and aquaculture now call for a global, integrated, sustainable aquaculture program. And third, aquatic biosecurity will be a very important and currently is the most advanced pillar of this program. Thank you very much.